For today's reading lesson, we will be reading The Jimjick King by Dina McClellan. Once a week, Asa Dogwood and his wife Mary would fetch the wagon and make a long journey. They took the wagon to Bearport to pick up supplies. Asa was always in a rush to get back, but Mary liked to stop at barn sales along the way. On this particular day, Mary saw a sign that said, "Junk sale today." The sign was hanging on a barn. Mary begged Asa to stop. Making inferences. What clues tell you the Dogwoods live in the country? Remember, boys and girls, when we make an inference, the answer isn't right there in the text. We have to use clues from the story and what we know about a subject. So let's see. One way that I know that this takes place in the country is that they had to fetch the wagon. Okay, so because they had to fetch a wagon, it tells us that they probably weren't driving around in cars, but by horse. Also, they tell us that they had to pick up supplies from Bearport, and it was a long journey. So the fact that they didn't use the word like groceries or saying that they went to the grocery store and it was a long journey kind of tells me that they were in the country and they didn't have, like I said before, cars. Another thing that I would say is that it says that they were going to a barn for a junk sale. I don't see too many barns in the city, but let's keep reading. "Now, Mary," said Asa, sighing, "you know what's in there. The same silly things we have in our barn. We're always trying to get rid of the stuff." "Please, Asa," Mary said. She smiled sweetly. Of course, Asa agreed. Together they walked up to the farmhouse and knocked on the front door. A pleasant woman greeted them and led them to the barn. This question has to do with story structure. Where do Asa and Mary stop on their way home from Bearport? It tells us that they stop at a barn. Mary picked her way through piles of old furniture, clothing, rusted farm equipment, and bad family portraits. Asa wandered off, bored. Then Asa's eyes landed on an object he couldn't identify. He picked it up. He turned it around. He thumped it on the table. He gave it a sniff. He decided to ask the pleasant woman what it was. "It's Jimjick," she said. She doesn't know, Asa thought. He bought it for 25 cents. Why does the woman say that the object is a Jimjick? And we're making inferences. Well, we could tell because she says it's a Jimjick because she's not quite sure what it is. And she also hesitated and just came up with something quickly. When they got home, Asa showed Mary his new purchase. "Ooh, it's beautiful," Mary exclaimed. What exactly is it?" "It's called a Jimjick," he said. She furrowed her brow. "I've never heard of a Jimjick." Oh, they're extremely rare, said her husband. They can only be found here in Indiana. How does Asa try to fool Mary in this scene? Well, he tries to fool her by saying that Jimjicks are extremely rare and found in Indiana only. The next time they drove into town, Mary suggested stopping at another barn sale. This time, Asa had no problem agreeing. Another pleasant woman led them to a barn. Mary bought a painting of a prairie that looked like the view from their bedroom window. Asa bought an object very much like the first one. He batted off a cobweb and held it up. Another Jimjick! Mary clapped her hands in excitement. Making inferences. Why is Asa willing to stop at the barn sale? I believe Asa's willing to stop because at the last barn sale he went to, he had so much fun finding the Jimjick. I think he's excited to see if he'll find another Jimjick at this barn sale. Asa built a fancy cabinet to show off his Jimjicks. Word got around. Soon, Asa was known as a collector of Jimjicks. Farmers all over the county were now on the lookout for Jimjicks to buy. Soon, it was hard to find any. Jimjick prices went up and up to $50 each. Whenever Asa found a Jimjick, he bought it. He built a much bigger cabinet to show off his new Jimjicks. He now had hundreds of them. Why do Jimjicks go up in price? And this is a cause and effect question. Well, Jimjicks go up in price, which is the effect, because a lot of other farmers are now on the lookout for them. So because more farmers want to buy them, people are raising the prices. Asa was recognized as the country's leading expert on Jimjicks. Many newspapers printed articles about him. Soon, Asa's cabinets could no longer hold all his Jimjicks. He added a special room onto his house to show off the Jimjicks. After Asa died, Mary turned this room into a museum. Unfortunately, tragedy struck. About 100 years ago, the Jimjick Museum was hit by lightning. It went up in flames and all the Jimjicks were destroyed. Since then, Jimjicks have all but disappeared. That's why you never see any. Summarize. According to the story, why do people today never see Jimjicks at yard sales? Well, according to the story, all the Jimjicks were destroyed when the museum was struck by lightning about 100 years ago. Well, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed today's story. I know I sure did. Well, go ahead and answer those questions. As always, you can pause the video as necessary. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.